Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And here we go again with this damn Ben Simmons situation. But before we get into it, make sure you go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me get into the situation here, because it's been a while, right? And I'm going to be candid and I'm going to be honest and I'm going to give you guys my raw opinions on this situation. First of all, I think that this situation with Ben Simmons is by far one of the most absurd stories I've seen in the NBA probably ever. I've been watching basketball as a fan for 20 years, and we've been covering it for 2 or 3 years or so. But of all the stories that I've seen, this has got to be up there with one of the strangest ones. Okay, first of all, let's quickly chronicle what happened. Let's go down memory lane. Where did this all start? This all started during, I think it was the Eastern Conference semifinals when the Philadelphia 76ers were playing against the the Atlanta Hawks. They were playing. And what was Ben Simmons doing? Ben Simmons, your man, Ben Simmons was in there, right? Essentially stinking up the joint. He was playing like, how do you say it? Garbage. Ben Simmons was a disaster. Not on the defensive side on the floor, but on the offensive side of the floor, he was playing terrible basketball. Let me give you guys Ben Simmons' earth-shattering, numbers that he was averaging throughout the course of the playoffs last year. Ben Simmons, in the playoffs, was averaging a grand total of 12 points per game, 0.8 blocks, 1.3 steals, 8.8 assists, 8 rebounds, shooting, get this, man. He was like Steve Nash from the free throw line. He was shooting 35% from the free throw line. Think about that. Your point guard was shooting 35% from the free throw line. He was shooting 0 threes, but he shot 0%. Think about this. Ben Simmons in his playoff career is shooting 0%. 0% in the history of the playoffs. That is what he's shooting from the three-point line. He's a 52% free throw shooter in the playoffs, and he shot 61% from the field. Think about this. In his career, Ben Simmons is a 50% free throw shooter. Like, the guy is shooting from the three-point line 14.7% from the three-point line in 4 seasons in the bleeping NBA. That wasn't even part of my notes. I just saw it and it triggered me. Back to what I was saying. Essentially, he was in the playoffs, stinking it up, right? Just throwing skunk bombs all over the place, stink bombs, whatever you want to call them. And then he had an opportunity, I believe it was in game 6, to tie the game or go ahead, and he passed up an open dunk layup to his teammate who got mollywopped in the air. At the end of the game, Doc Rivers was then asked, what is his thoughts on Ben Simmons as being the starting point guard? He said he doesn't know. And Joel Embiid said, essentially, that was the turning point in the game. Since then, we haven't seen Ben Simmons in a Philadelphia 76ers jersey. And he came out and said that he is not going to play a single game for the rest of the season. Now, him and his, him and his representatives, Clutch Sports, if you guys ever want to go to war and get a strategy team together, don't ever call these guys. They were putting together some type of fantastic game plan that was so stupid that at the end, they ended up basically triangulating themselves into just complete nonsense. What initially happened was he said he wasn't going to report to camp. Then, out of the blue, he shows up to camp. He shows up and he's in there not really participating in drills. Then he gets thrown out of training camp. Think about that. He gets thrown out of practice. Since then, he's been home. And now There's an article that just came out from CBS Sports that I'm quickly going to read, and the article has the headlines. 76ers Ben Simmons willing to sit out entire season if not traded by February 10th trade deadline. And the situation goes on. This is basically reported by Ramona Shelburne. She says, I think the sense is if it takes the entire season to trade him, if it takes all year for the Sixers to find a trade that's acceptable for them, he's prepared for that, Shelburne said of Simmons on Monday during an appearance on ESPN's NBA Today. And she basically said that is not willing to return this entire season unless he's traded, what he's willing to sit out the season. And y'all know he was being fined, right? His representatives told him, hey, listen, man, we have an amazing game plan. We know what we're going to do. Not only are we going to tarnish your reputation, not only are you going to miss time in your playing career, we're also going to get you to lose some money. And guess what? Somehow, some way, you're going to be the winner in all of this. That's essentially the type of counsel this guy's been getting. So here are my thoughts. First of all, don't ever wrong Ben Simmons in his life, because he's never going to forgive you. That's number one. But on a serious note, here's my biggest issue with Ben Simmons. My biggest issue with this guy is that he has found a way to point a finger at every single person except himself. It is everyone's fault except him. He seems to be more upset at what his coach and teammates said about him than his own lack of improvement since he's gotten into the NBA. Ben Simmons doesn't seem to be fazed by the fact that not only is he not getting better, if you go look at his numbers last year, this joker actually is regressing. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Ben Simmons, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Ben Simmons is one of the laziest basketball players I have ever seen with that level of talent. Have there been lazy NBA players? Absolutely. There are lazy people in the world. But I have to think of a person that had this much raw talent, that has been this lazy. Now, some of you guys are going to say, oh, why are you going to say lazy? These are the dudes, again, these are the dudes that love babying dudes. There are a group of guys out there that all they can do is make excuses for guys and baby them. On this channel, we're not babying dudes. Our audience is full of grown or young, mature men that are responsible, that are all about hard work and taking action and not making excuses. Hopefully, that's the audience we're cultivating on this channel. We don't tolerate that here on this channel. The men in this audience, if you read their comments, they're very mature. These guys seem to be, they're all about responsibility and hard work. They're not about babying guys, because you don't do them any favors by babying them. So let me quickly go over his numbers, his career stats. First season in the NBA, he averaged 15.8 points per game. He shot 54% from the field, 0% from the three-point line. The next year, he averaged 17 points per game, 56% from the field, 0% from the from the three-point line, and shot 60% from the free throw line. Then the next season, his points dropped to 16.4. Field goal shooting went up by 2 percentage points. Three-point shooting jumped to 28.6%. And by the way, some of you guys thinking, oh, Ben Simmons, wow, he really hasn't been improving his three. He hasn't made more than 10 three-pointers in his entire basketball career. In his entire career, this guy hasn't even made up to 10 three-point field goals. And then last year, his scoring dropped to 14.3 points per game. His field goal shooting dropped to 55%, so it dropped by 3 percentage points. His three-pointers, his attempts went up. I think he made 1 three-pointer, if I'm not mistaken. He shot 30%, and he shot 61% from the field, right? Those were Ben Simmons' stats over the course of his career. Now, if you juxtapose him with another person called Giannis Antetokounmpo, who had just as much raw, unrefined talent as Ben Simmons, Giannis has improved every single year he's been in the NBA. And in the last 4 seasons, Giannis has won 2 regular season MVPs, a Defensive Player of the Year, a Finals MVP, made all NBA first teams, made all NBA defensive teams. That's the type of improvement that Giannis has made over his career. And I think the fundamental difference between these two players is this. One guy is a complainer and a victim, and the other guy is a no-nonsense guy, and he's a doer. That is the fundamental difference. Ben Simmons has spent more time complaining than actually working on his game and getting back on the court and showing that, listen, I'm improving as a basketball player. Essentially, he's thrown a tantrum and he's pouting. He got his feelings hurt. Oh my gosh, somebody says something about you that was not nice. Oh dear God, what is gonna happen? I'm just gonna completely shut down because these people said this about me and I can't move forward anymore. I refuse to move forward anymore and I'm not gonna get over it. This is why I keep saying we need men that are being honest with young men. If your dad or your uncle or your older brother or your friend tells you the truth, man to man, not in a way to harm you, but in a way to inform you, if you take offense to that and that guy's trying to tell you the truth and help you, that's your bleeping business. But at least he's being honest with you. This is what happens when we cannot tell each other as men the truth and we baby each other. The moment somebody says something critical or truthful about you, all of a sudden, I don't want to be your friend anymore. You're betraying me. You're breaking rank. That's essentially what is happening. Giannis is purpose-driven. You can tell. Giannis ain't playing for no money. You can tell. He's already rich. Giannis is about purpose and legacy, and Ben Simmons seems to be transfixed on fame and attention. Posting your cars, who you're dating. Nobody cares, bro. The only people that care about that are chatty patties. To give Dame Dash his credit. Chatty patties. Y'all know what a chatty patty is? For those of you guys who don't know what a chatty patty is basically somebody, a guy that sits there and pocket watches other dudes, look at what other dudes are buying, look at what other dudes are wearing, look at who they're dating. Those are chatty patties. I was like that in high school. I'm 34 freaking years old. In high school, like, yo, you saw how much money Diddy made? You saw how much money Jay-Z made? Yeah, I'm in high school. I was a chatty patty. I grew out of it. I'm a grown man now. And those are the guys that are impressed with this. Chatty patties and girls. Most men don't give a damn. Most men are focused on their business, trying to make their money, trying to take care of their families, on their own goals. No guy sits back and is sitting there admiring. Yeah, you may say, oh, good for this guy. Congratulations for this guy. I'm happy to see him doing well. But we don't care whether or not you're making money or you're well. Who cares? It's not my money anyway. It's not going to feed my kid. So why am I sitting up here like, rubbing myself just looking at it like, oh, wow, you heard how much money he made this year? Son just made $25 million. Who cares? Chatty patties are the ones that are impressed by this. So these are my thoughts and opinions on this guy. If he gets traded, that's his damn business. If he doesn't get, I really don't care. I'm just reporting the information because we're in sports media and we got to cover the news. This is what happened. So these thoughts may seem raw, but it is exactly what I think. There's a group of us out there that are not going for any of this. So these are my thoughts and opinions, whatever you guys think. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.